You are listening to Still Tide, The Boat That Never Sailed by Rolando ASISTEN Jr. Chapter 5. Orbits and Equations. When I first returned to the classroom, I felt like a visitor from another planet. The smell of markers and glue replaced the scent of machine oil and sea air. The hum of chatter replaced the steady rhythm of telemetry data. Yet something about it felt familiar, as if the same energy that once lifted rockets was waiting here, bottled in the laughter of children. Ms. Hughes greeted me at the door of the STEM club. "Back again, Mr. Calder. The kids have been waiting for their orbit lesson." Their faces turned toward me like satellites locking onto a signal. I nodded and smiled, pretending not to notice my hands trembling slightly as I carried a cardboard box filled with model parts. We began with simple demonstrations. I tied a string around a small rubber ball and swung it in a circle above my head. The students gasped as it whirred through the air. "This," I said, "is what a satellite does. It falls forever, but never lands." A hand shot up. It was Javier, the boy with sharp eyes and restless curiosity. "Wouldn't it fall eventually?" "If it slows down enough, yes," I said. "That's why it needs the right speed to balance gravity's pull. It's a dance between falling and flying." He nodded, then tried swinging his own model. The string snapped, and the ball rolled under a desk. Laughter erupted, his included. "Lesson 1, I said, smiling. "Gravity always wins in the end, but that doesn't mean we stop trying to cooperate with it." Over the next weeks, the classroom became my new orbit. We built small rockets from soda bottles, measured angles with protractors, and tested launch heights using a smartphone app that calculated velocity. The students loved when I showed them real NASA footage of satellites gliding across the blackness of space. Sometimes when I tried to write equations on the board, my hand trembled. Maya would quietly step up beside me and hold the chalk steady. She never made a show of it. The others pretended not to notice. That small kindness felt larger than any orbit I had ever calculated. After class one afternoon, Miss Hughes lingered as the students packed up. "You've made quite an impact," she said. "Maya told me she wants to study aerospace engineering now." "She's already ahead of where I was at her age," I said. Ms. Hughes smiled, then hesitated. "You know, you could make this a regular thing. Maybe mentor a few of them for the regional science fair." The idea unsettled me, though not unpleasantly. A new mission, one measured not in miles or data, but in time shared. "I'll think about it," I said. "You always say that," she laughed. "And then you show up anyway." That evening, I told Maggie about the day. She listened while stirring soup, her movements slow and deliberate. "You seem more alive when you talk about those kids," she said. "I suppose they remind me of what curiosity looks like before it learns to wear a tie." She chuckled softly. "And maybe they remind you of yourself." "Maybe," I said. After dinner, I sat at my desk and opened my old NASA field book. On a clean page, I wrote the word balance, then drew a small circle beside it. Not a perfect one, but close enough. The following week, we held our first outdoor launch day. The students lined up their bottle rockets on the field behind the school, cheering as each one soared upward in uneven arcs. Some spiraled, some sputtered, one nearly hit a tree. But when Maya's rocket rose higher than the rest, steady and straight, the class erupted in applause. She looked at me, eyes wide with disbelief. It actually worked. "That's the thing about experiments," I said. "Sometimes success surprises you more than failure." Ms. Hughes called for a photo, the kind that would end up in a yearbook or maybe forgotten in a drawer. The students gathered around me, laughing, holding their models high. Someone shouted, "Say orbit!" We did, and for the first time in years, I felt weightless. Later that evening, I returned to the marina. The sun was low, painting the water in slow gold. Still, tide rocked gently, waiting as she always did. I sat on the dock with my notebook. The air smelled of salt and rain. I could still hear the students' laughter echoing faintly in my mind, bright and alive. I wrote slowly, my hand unsteady, but my heart certain. Observation. The universe runs on cooperation, not competition. Conclusion. Perhaps the same is true for people. I closed the notebook and looked out across the bay. A single gull traced a wide circle over the water before gliding back toward the shore. Even the birds, I thought, understand orbits better than we do. I rested my hands on my knees, feeling them tremble with the rhythm of the waves. For once, it didn't feel like weakness. It felt like motion. See you in Chapter 6.